Hello and welcome to Mr. Wiley Teaches Math. Today we're going to be looking at a problem-solving strategy. Sometimes the question or problem is very complex, and it makes it easier if we break into smaller pieces and solve that first. For example, if we had this W, and we were asked how many pieces will 500 horizontal cuts make? That could be overwhelming to begin with. But if we just start and we make ourselves a T-chart, and we said to ourselves, on one side I'm going to have the number of cuts, and the other side I'm going to have the number of pieces. And we could start right off the bat and say number of cuts, 0 cuts, and I have one big piece. If I take one cut, one horizontal cut, let's count the pieces. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I see this adding 4 going down, adding 1 on this side. Let's see if we can find any other patterns. So I can do another horizontal cut. So now I've got 2 cuts, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. And if I add a third cut, I'm going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces. And I could keep going. I could go all the way down to 500 and adding 4 each time. I see that pattern going this way. Or I could look for a general rule that's going to help me with this. I always think of how do I get from 0 to 1? Well, I could add 1, but will that work down here? 1 to 5? No, it doesn't work. So there's got to be another way to get there. So if I look at the number of cuts, and I multiply the number of cuts by 4, and then add 1, let's see if that works. So 0 cuts times 4 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Okay, it works there. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. It seems to be working. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. I think we have a general rule that'll help us with this. Take the number of cuts, multiply by 4, and add 1. Now it doesn't matter how many pieces I'm asked to cut it into. I can quickly take 500 pieces, multiply it by 4, and add 1. 500 times 4 is 2,000, plus my 1. I'm going to end up with 2,001 pieces. And I could have done that going down, but that would take me a long time, and the odds of me making a mistake by adding 4 each time all the way down to 500 are quite high. So we took a complex problem and we broke it into smaller pieces, and we found a pattern we built from there. Another example would be 15 teams are in a tournament, and each team plays all the other teams once. How many games are we going to need in total in this tournament? Well, 15 teams, I could sit there and go, well, team 1 is going to have to play team 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I could list them all out and do the same for team 2. It's going to have to be 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 15. Or I could break it up and look at a smaller problem. Let's just do it. 5 goes nicely into 15. It doesn't really matter. Let's look at 5 teams. Got team 1, team 2, team 3, team 4, and team 5. Alright, so let's start with team 1. Team 1 has to play team 2. We have 1 game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games. Okay, so team 2 and team 1 have already played, so we don't count that. Team 2 has to play 1, 2, 3 more games. Team 3, they've already played team 2 and they've already played team 1, so the new games they have are 1, 2, and 4 haven't played 5, so that's their last game. So let's total it up and see how many we get. 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9, plus 1 is 10. We have 10 games in total. Let's look for a pattern, general rule. Well, I do see that it's decreasing. It started at 4, 3, 2, 1. So I can assume that pattern's going to start going. And I also notice that it's 1 less than the starting team. I'm seeing that same pattern up here as well. If I listed all these out, I'm going to have 14 games that team 1 plays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that pattern is going to continue. If I have 15 teams, I'm going to start with 14, add 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And when I add them all up, I'm going to find out how many games I need in total in the tournament. That would be a way to break up this question, and it's a good time to bring in a calculator and add that up. 14 plus 13 plus 12 plus 11 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6, 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. Unless I made a mistake there, it's 105 games are needed. Alright, well, thank you for watching. Please check the class website for additional notes and assignments.